My wife pushed for an open marriage. Months later, she tried to destroy my career, but ended up exposing herself instead. I've been carrying this around for months, and if I don't get it out in one shot, I think my head will explode. I'm 34M, software engineer, been married to my wife Lena, 32F, for 8 years, together for 10. We don't have kids. We tried for a while, but after 2 chemical pregnancies last year, we decided to stop trying. That was devastating for both of us, but we processed it in very different ways. I withdrew into routines, work, and quiet. Lena started chasing new experiences like her life depended on it. That's always kind of been her thing. She's outgoing, magnetic, makes friends everywhere she goes, the sort of person who can strike up a conversation with an Uber driver and end up following them on Instagram. I'm more the stay-at-home with a book type. Somehow we worked for a long time. We own a modest 3-bedroom outside Boston. Split finances in the way most couples do. Joint account for bills and savings. Our own accounts for fun money. I thought our marriage was solid enough to survive the rough patch we were in. Turns out I was wrong. Last summer, it's a Friday night. Pizza in the oven, bottle of wine open. We're just talking about our week. Out of nowhere she says, "I think we should open our marriage." I laughed, thinking she was joking. She didn't laugh back. She'd been listening to podcasts, reading blogs about ethical non-monogamy, learning all the lingo, compersion, expanding capacity for love, decentering monogamy. She told me it could make us stronger, take pressure off. I asked if there was someone specific. She hesitated just long enough for me to know the answer before she admitted it. A coworker named Daniel, 35M. She said they had chemistry, but nothing had happened. I told her flat out I wasn't interested. Over the next week, every conversation we had circled back to it. She'd pull up articles, TED Talks, examples of modern couples doing it successfully. She framed my resistance as fear-based and scarcity mindset. Eventually, worn down and wanting peace, I agreed to try, with strict rules. No coworkers or friends. No one in our house. Protection always. Transparency about schedules. And either of us could stop at any time. She agreed, kissed me like we'd just signed a peace treaty, and within 10 days, broke the biggest rule. She told me she'd accidentally kissed Daniel after drinks, stayed the night at his place. It just happened, she said, like gravity was responsible. She framed it as her being transparent, because she told me after. From there it was constant. Texting, late nights, workshopping ideas, coming home smelling like cologne I don't own. I kept telling myself I was being open-minded, but it felt like I was watching our marriage get replaced by a group project I wasn't part of. About a month later, my friend Mark invited me to a barbecue. I went because I didn't want to be the guy sitting at home while his wife was out with her connection. That's where I met Emily, 29F, a nurse. She had this calm, grounded energy and a sense of humor that caught me off guard. We talked for an hour straight about everything from movies to the worst meals we'd ever eaten. She didn't flinch when I mentioned the open marriage thing, just said, "That sounds like a lot. Are you okay?" We exchanged numbers. The next day, she texted me a picture of a mangled hospital cafeteria sandwich with "Dinner of Champions. Hope your day's better than this." It started with small talk, turned into coffee, then dinner. She asked about my day and actually listened. She laughed at my terrible coding jokes. She didn't make me feel like a science experiment. I told Lena I'd met someone I wanted to see. She smiled, said she was proud of me for leaning in. The second Emily became real, Lena flipped. Suddenly, my phone was blowing up every 15 minutes when I was out. "Where are you? Who are you with? Send me a pic." I reminded her of our agreement. She said she needed more data to feel safe. Then she announced a new rule: no sleeping over. I agreed. That night, she slept at Daniel's. When I called her on it, she said, "That's different. I know myself. You're the one who catches feelings." Then came the money. I logged into our joint account to pay the mortgage and saw $15,000 gone. The memo line said investment. Lena admitted she'd loaned it to Daniel for a micro-roastery business. No contract, no discussion. That was my work bonus. Money we'd earmarked for a down payment someday. She called me controlling for questioning her, said what's yours is mine. I moved my paycheck to my personal account the next day. 2 days later, my mom called me furious. Lena had called her crying, saying I was obsessed with a younger woman and abandoning her. My sister texted that I was throwing away a decade over lust. It hit me that Lena wasn't just seeing someone else. She was building a narrative where I was the villain. The breaking point came one Saturday morning. Emily and I were at a little coffee shop, laughing over some story about a patient's dad fainting. The bell over the door rings, and in walks Lena with Daniel. She comes right up to our table, says, "So this is the homewrecker." Everyone's staring. Then, loud enough for the whole place, she says, "I have proof you've been emotionally abusing me, and I'm taking it to your HR." I froze. Emily didn't. Calm as anything, she said, "You mean the emails you sent yourself from the fake account you made in his name?" Silence. Emily's brother works in cybersecurity. I'd shown him some abusive emails Lena claimed I'd sent. He proved they came from a Gmail account she created using her recovery phone number, her email, and our home IP address. Daniel muttered, "What?" Like he'd just been told gravity was optional. I told Lena I was done. That afternoon, I packed a bag and left. I moved into an extended stay hotel, called a lawyer, froze our accounts and credit. That's when I found out she'd also opened store cards in my name and run up thousands. Reported the identity theft to the bank and police. Then I got an Instagram message from Sarah, Daniel's wife. Yes, he was married. She'd found explicit messages between him and Lena, plus talk about the $15,000 investment. There was no business. Just a couple of pop-up coffee stands and a lot of Venmo transfers with coffee cup and rocket emojis. Sarah and I met for coffee. She was tired, calm, and done with Daniel. We swapped timelines. She confirmed most of what I suspected. HR at my company actually reached out to me before Lena could file her complaint. I presented all the forensic evidence. They closed the matter, documented that I'd been harassed by a spouse, and noted her attempts to log into my work email. My lawyer dug into our finances and found Lena had claimed a fake business on our taxes to write off a trip to Tulum. We amended the return. During divorce negotiations, the $15,000 was deducted from her share of assets as marital waste. She had to assume full responsibility for the store card debt. She kept the house but has to refinance into her own name or sell. The fake email stunt and identity theft are documented in case she tries anything else. Before the divorce was finalized, Lena sent me a 3-page closure letter. Half apology, half blame. She claimed she fell in love with Daniel, but it wasn't about him, that we were broken before this, that I never learned to live in the moment. I didn't respond. My lawyer told me to save it. My family eventually saw the truth. My mom apologized. My sister admitted she got played by Lena's emotional stories. Sarah is divorcing Daniel. We check in occasionally, mostly to share absurd updates, like him trying to use her Amazon account for driver perks at his new delivery job. Emily and I are still seeing each other. Slowly, carefully, she makes me tea, tells me hospital stories that make me laugh and cry, wears swimming goggles to chop onions. For the first time in years, I sleep through the night when she's next to me. I'm not naive enough to say everything's perfect now, but I can breathe again. If there's anything I've learned, it's that transparency is not the same as surveillance. Boundaries aren't cruelty. If someone keeps moving the goalposts, the game is rigged, and you should listen to your gut before it starts screaming. I stayed too long trying to be open-minded, while my partner was rewriting the rules for herself and tightening them for me. I thought saying yes would save the marriage. All it did was speed up the end. Now I just want something good. Not perfect, not dramatic, just good. And right now, that sounds perfect.